I think there are two reasons. One is throughout, her approach has not been the one of looking for a compromise that would be acceptable and command a parliamentary majority. The second reason is that the structure of the issues about Northern Ireland just don't work. Either you have the same regulations across the whole British Isles, or you have a border in Ireland, or you have a border in the North Sea, and you just have to have one of these.
Can I give you a third reason why as well? Because the game's up for Mrs May, that's why. She knows that she's lost all her ability to govern. There is no whip really effective in the Conservatives anymore. She knows the game's up, she's trying to construct it, so it looks like she's leaving on her own terms, I think, as well.
I want to throw in the debate that we were having very early this morning about whether there's a price tag for the DUP. You know, the whole debate seems to be around the backstop and whether they want it or not and whether that can be solved. But is there a price tag at which they would sell out effectively to get Brexit done and take some money to fuel infrastructure, some other projects required in Northern Ireland?
I wondered about that. And, you know, people raised at the time of the last bung to Northern Ireland, at the time of the last election, the question of we have a bribery act in this country. And all of us have probably been sent bits of paper with warnings about the Bribery Act on it. It seems to me it ought to apply in these circumstances as well. In fact, it does.
But you just talked, no, that can't be right though, John, because you just talked about compromise. And I think a lot of critics of Mrs May says she lacks one key skill to lead Britain through this, and that's she can't compromise, she can't do deals, she has no empathy for others' views as much, or very little any as well. And then on the other hand, you're saying we should make it illegal to bribe. I mean, politics and offering incentives, that's how it works, isn't it?
Well, yes, but there's a difference between you and I developing a good relationship and my stuffing a brown envelope with money in your pocket on the way out.
But if you gave me that envelope in plain sight on a big white piece of paper saying, I'm going to give, let's say, Sussex, where I live, let's say Sussex gets $2 billion if you sign up, that's pretty overt. There's nothing bribery in brown envelope about that.
No, it's still bribery even if it's overt.
Let's just talk about the potential directions then, because Willem wrapped up what he was saying by saying that there is a fear on the left that May stepping aside allows a route for Boris Johnson and those who are from the ERG side of the argument. They also represent traditional conservative values that are, I would say, more about controlling spending, reducing taxation, and perhaps falling back on the kind of Tory attitude to economic policy that prevailed before Tony Blair came to power, I guess, and we all became centrists. I mean, am I taking this too far down the road by suggesting that by Theresa May stepping aside and a more conservative coming into power, we could see a shift in the way the country is governed economically?
I think that's right, and I think you're getting at a basic point, which is the way the parties in this country are structured doesn't really make sense anymore. They're alliances of people who don't really get on with each other. So you have the hardline ERG Brexiteer group in the Conservative Party. You have a more moderate centrist group who have more in common with Tony Blair than they do with Jacob Rees-Mogg or the way Boris represents himself.
But another thing no one agreed on was an alternative to the first past the post. Nick Clegg got into government with the Tories and said, let's leave tuition fees aside. He said, I want an alternative vote. And few people voted, not many, and no one wanted it. So it's really difficult to see how we get fit for purpose, isn't it?
I know, because I don't think people understood the alternative vote story.
No, why would they?
Not quite. It's a bit like voting systems, actually.
It's a bit like indicative votes in Parliament,
exactly,
isn't it? Just a couple of quick questions. Do you see, well, one question. Do you see a path out of this mess? Come on, be the person who can take us through this.
I still think the most likely story is May's deal.
Oh, right.
But not with a high likelihood on that.
Yeah.
Hi, I'm Joanna Bersecci, and thank you for watching. You can check out more of our videos by clicking on the boxes on the screen. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more from CNBC International. Thank you for watching.